Hello, it's Dr. H. Bastawi here again. I just wanted to talk about a few other points that's in regards to myself and the problems I've been through lately. I wanted to make a point that I am not suicidal because some people try to depict something of this nature with this silliness of going with any lyrics of any song and trying to apply to any situation. I'm not suicidal, I've never been, but there has been several attempts on my life. Um, and I'm making this point very clear. Um, where some of them are noted because they're part of a legal case. Some of them are not as much noted because try to distract from them. So one of the ones was that there was an attempt by a mentally ill teenager who thought of myself as a vampire. He attempted to prepare a weapon, a stake, as they think of vampires, and wanted to kill me with it. But then he ended up using a knife instead. Obviously, this was known. And then when I moved, when we've had all these problems, we got targeted for a few years in a number of court cases. Um, and we needed to move somewhere else. So when we moved here, obviously this was known. A dead bird was put inside my living room, and before the final hearing of the court case, and a replica of the weapon that was prepared to kill me, the stake, the wooden stake, was also put in the playhouse um, in my garden here. Um, Also, somebody intentionally attempted to crash into my previous car. It was clearly, as it was seen on the dash camera at the time, um, it's clearly not my fault, enough to do with myself, but it was part of this Chris Ed Dickey thing and to do with the Dickey family, where they got us specifically at Toyota Yaris to do that. Obviously, I managed to dodge it just in time, so I saw him coming in from the other lane and trying to crash into myself. When I saw that, I tried to dodge it just in time, and I ended up having just scratches to the front bumper rather than a serious crash instead. But he was aiming for my driver's door. Um, so there has been several attempts of these. I've had confrontations, and I've had obviously, as you know, a problem with the grooming gangs a while back where we got surrounded or ambushed by them in the way they do things. And after that, there was a series of court cases of all types, try to silence me and cause problems. As you understand, a, I've never been uh, I've never had any criminal history of any kind. I've never been involved in any sort of crimes or anything like that. But there has been attempts to smear myself in order to silence me, um, and that was unsuccessful, of course. But the attempts to smear me obviously went so serious to a point where very stupid things were being said about myself, and that was used in a court case against me, even though the police had made their position very clear that this is all ungrounded and without any evidence, and that they are against them. They also made their position clear that they were acting. This was the local authority by that point, um, and there's just two inexperienced social workers who were new to that line of work, and they were attempting to silence me by coming up with all these things, which none of my children said or anybody else said. They were just themselves, and later on they were joined by the mother in a way to try to achieve what they were aiming for. Obviously, the court case came to an end with completely establishing that this is completely not true, but I've been smeared for a long time now, and with fake pictures, fraud. The two social workers were found to be guilty of not following a number of things by several judges. Not following the protocol, for example, making serious mistakes, mishandling of the children, which caused resignment of the previous manager. And there are many other problems like fraud as well, and so on. Fake pictures made of myself. So many problems. So this clearly had a vendetta against myself, and they also showed an extreme level of lack of impartiality. Also during the hearing where they were found guilty of that too. The mother was also found to be lying. So all of that is there, but they could not be persecuted like I have been. Even though there was no grounds against me, there was no evidence against me, and it's all been confirmed by the judge. It's all not true. They have been found guilty, but they can't be persecuted for some reason. Why? Because under public family law, social workers can't be persecuted, prosecuted because of some sort of immunity they have under that type of law. So even though they're found guilty by a number of judges, they can't be prosecuted because of it. So it's a serious problem we're in, and also under all types of public family law cases, they end up having a say on the children, even when there's nothing wrong. So currently, my children are also kidnapped. So there is a loophole in the law, basically, and my children are kidnapped, and when it has been confirmed by the judge that they had failed in all sorts of attempts and trying to silence me in whatever way, they took their anger out at the children, and they withheld their access to myself too. So not only are they kidnapped, they're also not given any access to myself. This has been a situation going on for nearly 2 years now. Such trauma that is unnecessary for children, the way they were treated, the way they were mishandled. And somehow these people are still left without any criminal consequence, and to unleash this sort of level of criminality on all British children. Remember, these are social workers, and they can do that to any family, destroy their lives. They took part in the previous housing case against me, where they shouldn't, and as it turned out, they were acting against myself behind the scenes, where they were providing false information to help the previous landlord against myself, the landlady against myself, where obviously it was also found not true, and I won that too. But these are types of law that have been targeted with that I call laws for thieves. What are laws for thieves? You can read some of my books which I published on that. The last one that's been published on the way we've been targeted is called Boreography. And it's based on the articles of discontent which are serialized in social media over a number of months. These laws, the laws for thieves, are laws that winning the cases for or through is only a case of damage limitation. So you can win the case against the landlord, but they will eventually take the house from you, so you'll need to move. You can win the case against the social workers, so they fail to incriminate you, but you still have a say over the children, and so on. So it's like that. So it's a serious problem where these types of laws need to be improved. The housing law has been improved and amended based on some recommendations we've made previously and based on our experience. But public family law seems to be still nobody's talking about. So somehow somebody can walk into a family's life and destroy it completely, kidnap the children for no reason. The police can't do anything about it. Even the police found them acting illegally and abducting children without consent, and they couldn't do anything about it. They have full immunity under public family law. So these people can walk into any family's life and steal their children, cause a problem with tenancy, affect their income, provide fraudulent information about them, life-damaging information, and somehow they can walk away, no problem. They can't be prosecuted even when they've been found guilty. So it's just unbelievable. Um, so that type of law needs to change big time. My children have been traumatized now for a couple of years. The damage that has been incurred by everybody is severe. I'm continuously disgusted with everything. I can't eat properly. It's not great. But anyway, that's where we're at now, and somehow it seems to be as a difficult subject for politicians to try to talk about or deal with, that we have local authorities that can wreak havoc and destroy families' lives without criminal consequence, even when they are found guilty by several judges, not just one or two, a number of judges find them guilty of a number of offenses. The police is acting against them, and yet they can't be prosecuted somehow. It's a serious problem. But like I'm saying, they've been found guilty by several judges, and the mother was found to be lying as well. Also, to add that when it comes to life-damaging information like that being used to smear somebody for whatever reason, there needs to be a criminal consequence for it. So when that person has been lying to that extent to try to destroy somebody's life, particularly somebody like myself in the public eye, and has been successful for many years and so on, to be tried to target in this way and so on. There needs to be a level of criminal consequence for this type of smearing. It can't be just be normalized that anybody can say any life-damaging stuff about anybody else and get away with it. This is completely wrong. I'll leave it there, and perhaps we'll make another video another time. Thanks.